slideshow, I want to do more or less what we call hands-on. So basically, these are kits that our kids have built. We got into this about 4 years ago. We built the little drones this big, flew them around the house, and now we're into the very professional drones, like fire departments, police departments are used, and professional photographers. From the standpoint of a drone, basically all it is, drone means basically unmanned. So the official term is UA, unmanned vehicle. So in the military, we'll get to the military use of drones too. In the military, they have them separated by the Army, the Air Force, and Navy. Obviously, they're different, they do different things. So a submarine is also a drone. Okay? An airplane for the Air Force is a drone. A tank without a tanker, a human, is a drone. Most of us relate to the drone as these small things. Okay? Now, a drone also can be an airplane that has wings, but most of us think about it as a quadcopter, 4 motors, 4 propellers. The bigger the drones are, they may have 8. I don't think they have any more right now. But the drones are divided into classifications. The toy drones, and then it comes the next step. Alex showed them the Maverick. Maverick, show it to them. Just pick it up and show them. The Maverick came out on Veterans Day last year. It was introduced to the public. Almost all of our drones, as I talk through this, think about it, we are in a constant Cold War battle with drones with China. And Russia's on the sidelines, but they're into it too. But we can move forward, China moves up forward, one ahead of us. This is a Maverick. It came out from China, and it's 459 grams. So that puts it in the toy drone category. But it is not a toy. That's a very professional drone. It's just very, very light. So the Chinese played a very clever game. You put a label on that, or put anything on it, the guard, and it's over 450. 450 is the cutoff where you're into another classification of drones. What you can and what you cannot do. Then the next classification is 55 pounds. You move into the very heavy drones like the military uses, or you'd use for agriculture and so on, for spraying crops and so on. So, show it to me. Okay, this has got propeller, take the propeller guards off. With propeller guards on, it's in the 450 range. So the rules and the laws are totally different. Again, let's go back to this while he's doing that. You have 4 motors. These are very powerful miniature motors. So what we're moving into again with these young people is a miniature world. A world that I can't even see this stuff. I can't see some of the screws that keep these things together. The wires, we can't do the same kind of soldering with the miniature world. Show it to them. Walk around. Okay, so you have 4 very high power motors in each of the arms. Okay? And if you look at the drones that you have there, pick them up. And you'll see the little boards, the PCB boards. There's 2 of them. One of them is a power supply, and your batteries for these are very, very tiny and very, very powerful. But they're also very, very dangerous. They look like, and they are. They're just scotch tape and some cardboard and some very powerful stuff in there. Okay, so one board, PCB board, or developmental board, whatever you want to call it, you can see how small they are. The second one that sits usually on top of it is the one that controls. It's the ones we'll call the brain power in it, all the software. And what it has to do, it has to control these 4 motors to tell it where it is in space, just like us, if we're up or down, right or left. And once it gets that in its memory bank, then Alex or whoever's going to control it controls it and he'll say flip. Okay? We were going to try to flip some of them today. We've actually flipped some eggs. We're getting ready for Easter egg house. And we've got the drones where it goes forward and flips the egg. We also are using it like here, yesterday, fly the drone and we drop something. So in that world of photography, more in California than anywhere, if you go to a wedding, for example, they may be taking video from the drone and then they may drop goodies to the crowd. Okay? So let's take Killeen. Easter last year, for 2 years, if I remember right, Destiny's Church out here hired a helicopter. They dropped 10,000 eggs. So anywhere where a helicopter has been used in the past is now where a drone is going to be used. The drone can do it just as well, a lot cheaper. Okay, what controls it mostly is 4 little things called ESCs. They have to control the speed of the motor and tell it exactly, each 4 motors, what to do. If you want to flip these 2, and for anybody who's going to fly drones or get their hands on it, the propellers are different. These 2 propellers have to be different than the other 2. So any question on the drones? Okay, this one, by the way, is 3D printed. Take them apart. So we can print them, we can print any size we want, and then the kids put them together, and we fly. The next is military use. This is a good book. By the way, Sworn Troopers. Okay, Sworn Troops. There's 3 good books, and these are unclassified, so there's nothing there that we can't talk about. There's classified information. And another one that I've got, it's called Army of None, which means the drones are going to take over the world, the airplanes, the boats, and so on. And we're there. We've been there. Actually, we have 7,000 drones in the Iraq War. So our Army here at Fort Hood is using drones for all kinds of things. I wanted to read a couple things just from the standpoint of where we're at. I trained in California in basic training at Camp Roberts, the largest Army field to march on. Can't think what they call it now, but a marching field in the world. And that was in 1952. Right now, that same place is being used for drones. The Army just had, the Navy's actually using it, but they had a fight between 2 pilots who flew 50 drones each. 50 drones. One man flew 50 drones. Okay, they had an A and a B team. So every time we move forward in drones, as I said, China's 1 step ahead. So they now have had 60 drones in a drone pattern like that. So we're moving into, by this summer, the start of summer or the end of the summer, we will be able to fly the Tello drone. Show them the Tello. This is Tilo or Tello. This is a very small drone, again, made in China. This one only costs $100. So think about it. The military, you can buy 100 of those for 100 times $100, as compared with one airplane where you've got a pilot for, what, let's say, $14 million. Now, this drone has got 3 models. One to play with, just as a toy, because it's in that category. 2, an educational model, and for those of you who are into software, it's got the SDK, Software Definition Kit, where you can program it with Python to do whatever you want. Okay? So from the standpoint of programming, that one can be programmed with software. It's the only one. The other one is more for the games players, and it's called Iron Man, and it's red just like the Avengers and so on. So basically the software one is the one that we're working with, and with it then you will have to program it and run it from a computer with Python language. We're teaching 2 languages for the kids, C++ and Python. And you program one drone, and then we have 8 of them now. So at this point, we can program 8 drones to fly together, take off together, do all kinds of things, flips and move and so on. So, oh, that was the other one. On the drones in the military, if any of you have followed the Ukraine problem with Russia, they were at a war a few years ago. That's what started a lot of the problems, the discussion we've had in our political world. Russia wanted this port. So this was part of old Russia, so they wanted to take it back from the Ukraine. And so Ukraine went to war with Russia. Okay, Ukraine was supported by us, the United States. The part that they took over obviously was supported, which was part of Ukraine by Russia. So anyway, if you think about it, anybody know what a squad is in the military? Let's say 10 people. Let's say you have 4 squads in a platoon, and then you have 3 or 4 platoons in a company, then you have 2 battalions, you're probably up to 600, 1,000 people. In a tank battalion or mechanized, they don't walk. So they're all in vehicles, okay? Armored vehicles, tanks, armored vehicles, and so on. The Russia used the drones the first time in battle against 2 mechanized divisions in Ukraine that we were supporting. They used a swarm of drones. We don't know how many, probably 50. And it took them 3 minutes to destroy 2 mechanized divisions. It's like if we have the second AD here, which is now up in Fort Carson, one of their regiments, it would take them 3 minutes for 50 drones to take on the battle. So there's a lot going on competition-wise in this world of drones. Any questions so far? No?
You didn't get into commercial.
Pardon?
There's several kinds of license. There's regular license, pilot's license, they have commercial. That's used for, you have to get a license, but you can go out and take pictures of property, to sell property, show like acreage that has ponds, lakes, buildings, that type of thing, but you have to get your special license. The other thing that nobody tells you, you can go to Best Buy and buy a drone. You can spend $1,200, $1,500, $2,000. You can go different places and buy them, but they won't tell you that Killeen is a no-fly zone. If you want to fly in Killeen, you either have to have special permission, a commercial license can get it a lot of times, or you have to go out to Ogletree Gap Hill all the way in Cove, or at Stillhouse Lake over there. You have to be 5 miles away from any airport. So they're going to sell you whatever you want to buy. But if you think you're going to fly it in Killeen, unless you get special permission, you're probably not going to, without getting in trouble.
Now let's get into